I think my FWB caught feelings for me, but I don't feel the same about her, and I'm not sure what to do. Posted by you/ImpossibleFun7483. So, about 6 months ago, I, 28M, went out for drinks with some friends, one of whom was Chris, 27F, fake name, obviously. Chris and I have known each other since middle school and we're never super close, but we're always good friends, if that makes sense. She got wasted and was being flirted with by another guy in the group who was sober, which set off alarm bells for me. So, when we were all walking to our apartments and he lingered instead of going to my apartment, I ended up crashing on her couch. The next morning, while we were having breakfast, she admitted she found me cute, really appreciated what I did the night before, and wanted to know if I'd be up for an FWB situation. So, ever since, we've been just that. We'd both just gotten out of relationships at the time, and surprisingly, this FWB situation resulted in us actually becoming really close friends, to the point where we now actually just hang out more often than we hang out specifically with the intent to sleep with each other. Well, before, we had a pretty strict no staying the night rule because, for her, that felt like a step beyond FWB, but late last month she asked if I'd be willing to stay the night because I just really need someone to cuddle with tonight, and I didn't think anything of it and obliged. But now, every time we do it, one of us ends up staying the night at the other's apartment. She's also been making more overtly flirty comments towards me when we're with friends, which was another rule we had because we wanted to keep things private. Problem is, I don't know that I share her feelings. She's amazing, don't get me wrong, beautiful, can't undersell this. I work in a field where I work with models on a regular basis, and most of them do not compare. No idea why she picked me of all people, brilliant, driven, and one of the kindest people I know. This girl volunteers at a soup kitchen weekly. I've been incredibly grateful to have gotten closer to her over the last 6 months. I think she's one of those people you're lucky if you get to meet even once in your whole life. I know once feelings get involved there's no real going back to strict FWB, but I also would rather get buried alive than hurt her. So I would love advice on how to handle this. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. I think this is unavoidable. Two close friends who know each other and sleep together are bound to get attached. There aren't many options. 1. No more FWB, just friends. 2. No more friendship, just the benefits. As for navigating it, if you don't want to be in a relationship, you can let her know. It's likely that the friendship will get messy, and it's quite possible that you would need to take some space from each other until you can reset the friendship. I am of the belief that ultimately, FWBs don't really work in the long term. They are temporary situations for all parties until one finds a partner or gets attached to the other party. Ops response. I do kind of dread the conversation. I know it's something I have to do, but she's my best friend in the entire world, and I'd do anything for her. I just don't think I share romantic feelings for her. Part of it might be that the relationship I got out of shortly before starting this with her ended spectacularly badly and very much exploded, and I don't know that I'm ready for a relationship with anyone, honestly. At the same time, I dread that if I tell her, it could harm our friendship. Commenter. Not having this conversation is being unfair to her. She is being strung along, maintaining the hope that you might want to be with her down the road. This prevents her from moving forward and potentially seeking a romantic partner. It's impossible to know what the friendship will turn into, but you both implicitly accepted the consequences when you started sleeping with each other. She will hurt in the short term but will surely be thankful, knowing that she can make an informed decision regarding the nature of your relationship. Ops response. A totally fair point. I only really had all of this click this morning when I came here to make a post. I don't know that I've even fully processed it, if I'm being entirely honest. But I know she's off work. I think it's probably time to pull the band-aid off. I don't even know that a relationship with her in the future is completely off the table, but I do know that at this moment it might have to be, because I don't know that I'm in a position to have a relationship with anyone. Update 2 days later. Well, I didn't really expect to have an update this soon, or at all. I suspect it'll be the only update. After the first post, I called her and told her I suspected she had feelings. I was right, and told her I didn't have feelings and wasn't ready for a relationship, out of panic for the situation. Thankfully, it was therapy day. I talked things out with my therapist about how I have serious fears about getting back into a relationship, how those fears made me react way too quickly, and how now that things have potentially collapsed, I've re-examined how I feel about her. After therapy, I just let myself sit with things for a while. Then I called her. The call went to voicemail. So I texted her and let her know I wanted to talk and wanted to do it in person if she was willing. She texted back and said she was willing to meet for dinner to hear me out. So I laid everything out for her, how my last relationship messed me up and how that made me panic when I realized she had feelings and acted before I even gave myself time to process. And then I told her how I really felt, that her voice is my favorite sound, how her smile is what I see when I close my eyes, all of it, and most importantly, that if she was willing to be patient with me, I wanted to give us a shot. Anyways, I'm taking her on a proper date this weekend. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. Glad you got your head sorted. Based on how you described her, it definitely sounded like you had some feelings, they're just really messy with the other stuff you're dealing with. Ops response. Honestly, reading back on how I described her and how I felt the need to gush about her was the first moment I went, wait, do I have feelings? Second update 4 days later. Hi all, just wanted to give a second and probably final update unless we get, like, married or something maybe. I just got home after spending basically all day yesterday and part of today with her. On a scale of 1 to 10, the date was an 11. The day after my last update, she and I had a long call while she was on lunch from her job. It wasn't really about anything specific, but I made up the excuse that I was doing photography at a local greenhouse later that day to steer the conversation to flowers. I found out her favorite flower was lilies. Lucky me, I already knew her favorite color was pink. So I picked up a bouquet of pink lilies that day and had them waiting. Then came Saturday. I got to her apartment, and I swear, nothing could have prepared me for the moment she opened the door. I've photographed models on a Miami beach at sunset, I've photographed landscapes in Iceland and Ireland, I've done a wedding on a small vineyard in Italy. I don't say any of that to brag, I say it because I thought I had a pretty good grasp on what beauty was with my experience, but the second she opened the door, the definition was changed for me. Her eyes were the first thing I noticed. Of course, her eyes are like these beautiful ice crystals in her head, and they were highlighted by this gorgeous tan dress and the way her hair framed her face. Her smile when she saw the flowers made me freeze completely. I literally turned into a stuttering mess. I've never had that happen in my life. I'm usually confident and hard to fluster, but this outstanding human being did it without trying. I finally managed to hand her the flowers, and we took them in and put them in a vase. A couple of months ago, she made an offhand comment about how she wanted to visit this upscale Italian restaurant in our city, so that's where I had made reservations. The food was probably pretty good, I was too distracted by her to care that much about if the food was good. She info dumped about how apparently lactose intolerance is a skill issue, her words, not mine. She does this cute thing where she'll apologize for info dumping, and when I encourage her to keep going because I love hearing her talk, she bobs her head back and forth. It's a bit like watching a penguin dance. Don't know how else to explain it, but it makes me smile every time she does it. After that, we walked a block to a bar because they had live music. We got a single drink each, and the band started playing something by the Beatles. She made a comment about how it was her favorite slow song, so it felt like something to make a mental note of. So I asked her if she wanted to dance with me, and we did. And then it happened, she kissed me. It's weird, we'd made out before, but this time it just felt different. It was like the lights dimmed around us and everyone else disappeared for a moment. It was just us in each other's arms. When she pulled back, she had to be sure to jokingly remind me I nearly missed out on that. I ended up staying the night with her, and today we just laid in bed until, 1 p.m., just chatting and cuddling. After we finally got up, we went and got lunch together. We discussed what both of us want for our future, we both want kids, and we both agreed that we wanted to adopt at least one of them to pull a kid out of the system and give them a good life. Our goals really seemed to align well. The only difference was she apparently wants a spring wedding. I always planned on getting married in the fall because of photo opportunities. Guess I'm having a spring wedding. I know, early to think about a wedding, but I had a realization. In the last 2 months, we've spent more days together than apart. I did the math earlier this week because the thought occurred to me, so I read through our texts. From February 1st to April 12th, we only spent 32 days apart. We still talked on most of those days over the phone or text, of course, and we spent 39 together. Of those 39, only 4 were with the explicit intent to sleep with each other. Yet somehow, I still didn't realize I was in love with this woman. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. Stuck the landing. 10 out of 10, no notes. Ops response. Still half expecting to wake up and find that all of this was a dream, honestly.